Welcome back to Global News Morning. A pleasure to have you join us. Always a pleasure to be hanging out with Matt Lee. It's that time of week, and Matt is here to discuss a brand new report recapping the second quarter of real estate, not just here in Kingston, but across Canada, with some numbers. We'll compare them, and a little bit of a crystal ball look into the future of what this report states. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
Good. This was put out by Royal LePage?
Yes, it is. Yeah, absolutely. And we're talking about Kingston, and they have really every city broken down. And we're just going to get into national, and we'll get into Kingston just to see what's going on.
Are the numbers in conflict here with what's happening in Kingston versus nationally?
It's actually pretty close. I mean, I would say that we're not moving as much, and we tend to stay kind of more of on that steady line. And when you get into larger cities, there tends to be a little more of a wave. So what we're seeing right now is that things are stabilizing. We might be down a little bit right now, but it's so minute that I think that we're going to continue along, and it's going to continue on the uptick throughout the year. You know, from what we see, just the interest rates are coming into play a bit.
Absolutely. What are the numbers that jumped out to you?
So we are at 768,400 as a average price, aggregate price in Kingston. That says we're down 0.4%. It's pretty well even from last year, year over year. So if we look at that, we're saying it's 768,400 for a single family home. When we see that, we had been talking about kind of that 550,000 to 600,000 as an average price, but that was really the whole board, you know, and we've talked about those in the past.
Oh, so the
we're bringing
vast Kingston region.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so when we're talking about these numbers and they seem a little bit higher, we're talking about Kingston itself and nothing else right now. So like when we're looking at these numbers, that's what it is. So we're down 0.4%, second quarter year over year, relatively even.
Okay.
Yeah.
Compared to Canada?
Canada is 0.7% down. So they are a little bit more. But if you look at that and you throw in, you've got Vancouver and you've got Toronto and you've got Ottawa, and so you've got bigger numbers, bigger percentages. They might move a little bit more. I would say that we're pretty well even when we look at those, but we're still doing better.
What other numbers point to that?
So if we look at the condo market, it is decreased 6% over the past year over year. And we have to look at the condo fees, we have to look at the mortgage applications. When you're dealing with these situations, I think that you want to talk to the mortgage broker to make sure that if you have an approval, does that apply for a single family res or is it a condo? Because there's other factors that come into play, and we want to make sure that you're checking off those boxes.
With a little look into the future, no one can look into the future really accurately with 100% confidence, but you're seeing some possible trends in the future.
Yeah, interest rates it sounds like they're still talking about 1 or 2 interest rate increases. So if what they're trying to do is they're trying to slow that market down. It's causing buyers to have to really go back and talk to the mortgage broker about how long is my time locked in, you know, and what can I purchase, how long is this interest rate locked in. We're talking about sellers, you know, they're saying what's happening with the pricing. My feeling of what I see is that we're getting back to that market before COVID, really, where spring is really busy and fall is really busy.
Right.
So we're in this time right now that's a bit of a limbo, and people are feeling like the market's slowing. I think there's a busy market coming. You know, I think that September to December is going to be busy again, and I feel that it's on its way. So we just have to. We're going to continue along that way. The national numbers are stating that we're still going to be up at the end of the year. I think it's 8.5% year over year. So we have to just continue along that line and see where we end up.
Historically, Kingston has been doing that.
Yeah.
For years.
You know, it's always been that steady mark. I mean, during COVID, things kind of got, you know, skewed. If we took that kind of top and cut it off, and you looked over a 5-year span, we are a steady, slow, safe investment. Okay. And they do continue along that line, and I feel that we're going to continue doing that.
Last words, Matt.
I think that we are, I think that we're a steady, safe market, and I think it's always nice to get into real estate, and it's something to look at investment-wise or personal residence.
Matt, we thank you so much. Take care, bud.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Real estate tips brought to you by Matt Lee of Royal LePage.